I guess the most important thing about when approaching dogs is that a lot of the time we stare at the dog's eyes and we start to walk up towards them, and I think that can really make a dog feel threatened, feel a little bit scared, especially if the dog is insecure. So the best way to approach a dog is to be getting down low, always have your body facing away from them, and then space. And we invite them into our space. And that way there, if he feels like he wants to come to us, then he can walk up and we can interact. However, if I've walked up to him and I start to touch, especially when you put your hand out first, your first point of contact is going to be your hand, and dogs' first line of defense are going to be their teeth, all right? Eye contact is very important, not to give too much eye contact. Like if you were scared of me and I started to like walk up towards you, can see how threatening that could look for him. So being aware of what we're looking at, and also if you are, if there is an owner near the dog, always asking, hey, is it okay if I can pat your dog and interact? Because sometimes we go and pat straight off the bat, and it can be a very bad decision that we could make. Also, assessing their body language. The misconception is that a dog's tail that's wagging is a happy dog, except when a dog's tail is up really high and stiff, and it's making this flagging, they call it. What happens is that's a dog that's alert and that's highly aroused, rather than having like the figure eight sort of wag. So it's really important that we're looking at their eyes, looking at their ears, seeing if the hackles are up. Are they scared? Are they trying to cower away and run away? You know, so just really assess the situation. If a dog is tied up on their own and that there isn't anybody around the dog, it's probably best not to interact and try to touch them. If the dog is like off the lead like this and he's like a stray dog, we're not sure what to do, sometimes the best thing to do is go, hey guy, and just continue walking. I think as a society and as like a cultural thing, we like to like pat every dog that we see. Always ask for permission if you can pat somebody's dog. If a dog's tied up and unattended, best to leave the dog alone. Make sure you don't have too much staring and eye contact towards the dogs. A lot of dogs that bite happen from fear, not because they're super dominant and aggressive. So, and I think what's really important, which was like a traditional thing, which people say is, oh, let the dog sniff you first. So all those things that we were just mentioning about eye contact, body language and stuff, if I walked up to go, oh, let them sniff me. Dogs have a super intense nose. They can smell something from halfway down the street. So whether my hand's coming out like this or whether I'm just standing there, doesn't make a difference. So don't put your hand in front of a dog's face to let them sniff you. See, all dogs were designed to do a job, whether they were pulling sleds, herding sheep, retrieving game. So dogs always had something to do for us. But now we have dogs as our companions, they miss out on that job. And if we don't give a dog a job, they lack purpose. And what happens is when a dog's lack purpose, they find their own ways to fulfill themselves. That's where a lot of destructive behavior and aggressive behavior, and that's when dogs like to bark a lot and dig holes and all the other sort of stuff. So what I teach my clients is that when to give your dog a job, a basic obedience, sit and down and come, and some of the tricks there, but also going for loose lead walking. And what I mean by that is that the more that we start to establish a relationship with our dog and that we become an effective leader while we have a successful follower, that way the dogs are more stimulated mentally and physically, and then there's going to be more likelihood that our dog's going to be focused on us and then being a better citizen of the community. What happens a lot of the time is when people don't fulfill their dog's needs effectively enough, what happens is instincts take over. And we all know that dogs are predatory animals and they like to hunt and chase things. And what happens is, as I was saying before, when we have an insecure dog, if they're not sure how to react, it's either fight or flight. It's either they run away from us or they try to get close to us and try to keep us away. And we see it all the time when people are trying to pat a dog, or even if it's their owner, and then the dog tries to bite them, people jump back and the dog thinks, oh, well that worked, right? And that way then that behavior will continue to happen. So it's really important that if you are a dog owner, to be fulfilling their needs, whether it's doing obedience training, going for your loose lead walking, keeping up exercise, depending on your breed will depend on how much exercise they need. We talked a little bit how to approach dogs out on the street, like out in public, but what happens when we go to people's houses, for example? A really important thing that I teach everybody is when you first interact with a dog, don't be super excited, oh my God, and then start doing this. The dogs may not be aggressive, but what happens is if they get too excited and jumping on people all the time, then that's how dogs decide to interact with people, and that can be a bad thing because not everybody is happy to let dogs jump on them. Especially when it comes to young kids, we need to teach children not to run up to dogs, and like jump on them and put them in a headlock. We want to teach them to respect their space and to invite them up to us. If everyone knew how to approach dogs, then we're going to have less dogs doing the wrong thing, and there are going to be less dogs in the shelter, which are then looking for new homes. My name's Panos and I'm from Nutris Pooches, for all the new people that have just come. I volunteer at Sutherland Shire Animal Shelter once a week, every Thursday. Dog training, obedience training, behavioural issues and puppy training. So I go to people's houses and do one-on-one training and teaching people how to train their dog.